And physically, Holly to this day is the strongest person I have ever fought. I remember locking up with her on the cage and I was like, damn. I was like, this lady is strong. Why is she not moving?
Megan Anderson!
What's up, fight fans? What's up, combat sports community? It is Ike Feldman with the great Give Me Sport. I am being joined by another great guest, former UFC title challenger, former Invicta FC champion, ESPN analyst, actress as well. We'll get into that. Megan Anderson. Megan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. The last part of your introduction is where I would like to start. How difficult was it to go from punching people as hard as you can in the cage to not necessarily trying to hurt your coworkers in acting, especially in Extraction 2, one of the greatest action series of all time? It's amazing how they shot it. These one shots, the action scenes are incredible. But talk to me about training for a fight as opposed to training for a movie.
Yeah, well, training for a fight, you do hit your training partners, not super hard, you're not trying to knock them out, but there is contact. And then fighting, obviously, you are actively trying to hurt them. But then training for a fight scene in a movie, so different, because all of the rules that you've applied to fighting go out the window. Because when you're throwing punches in an actual fight, you want everything to be tight. You don't want to have any big spaces to be counted. But when you transition over to the film side, they want that space. They want the big hooks that look like they come from their hips because it looks better on camera. It looks better for the fight sequence. And realistically is you are shooting this scene so far apart that while some accidents can happen, you just never know. But for the most part, like the likelihood of you ever hitting the person that you're doing the fight sequence with is pretty minimal. It's just that they do such an incredible job at like positioning the cameras that make it look real. So that was kind of like a new concept to me, like, oh, I should be throwing this hook from my hip. But then when you look at it on film, it looks like I'm, doing exactly what I would be doing inside the cage. I'm just like, oh, well, this is why I am not behind the camera. But no, it was a really cool process. Extraction 2 was incredible. Like first dip into the film scene. Everyone, like the stunt team, the actors, the actresses, the behind the scenes, the PAs, directors, all that, everyone was incredible. It was one of the best teams to work for and work with. So yeah, I was very privileged to be able to have that as my first movie.
Now, a lot of people are kind of begging for Ronda Rousey to come back, and she's young, 36 years old. Shout outs to mid 30s. I'm about to turn 35. Um,
I just turned 34.
let's go February birthdays. But it's like, you know what? I feel like unless it's just an absolute ridiculous number on the dotted line, like I feel like Ronda Rousey is comfortable in her space right now in the WWE world. And I see you on red carpets. I see you potentially winning like some nominees or getting some awards at some of these big shows. Is it is it a comfortable home? Like you hear on these podcasts, actors or comedians, they say that yeah, it's strenuous work, 16 hours to fight 2 minutes. Is it addicting for you? Is it something that you can really pour your attention and something that you're passionate about?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of crazy because when you kind of go into like competing in martial arts, or then you go to the analyst side, or then you go to film, like there's so many different scenes and they all kind of run differently. So seeing how it works from all different points of view has been enlightening. But it just, man, getting to work with some of the people that I did on Extraction, like it truly opened my eyes to how dedicated these actors and actresses are, and it takes a lot, like long days, because it's like, say, so we filmed a lot. We had, I think, like 13 days in Vienna, Austria,
Oh, nice.
to film the outside of, because like the big fight scene was inside this building based in Austria, and so we had to go there and film all of the outside stuff, and then we filmed all the fight scenes back at the studios in Prague, and so we're light dependent, so we can't shoot until the sun comes up, and then as soon as 4:30 comes around, we have to end shooting. So so those instances, you only have an X amount of time in the day to get all of this taped. And so, and some, like I filmed 10 out of the 13 days that we were there. But
Oh,
then but then like you go back and we're doing our fight scene, which is, mine was in a stairwell.
yeah.
We're not light dependent for that. So we will start when we need to start, and we will go as long as we need to get what we need on tape. So and then there's like night, I've done some night shoots as well, and that is in and of itself a whole different beast. Like you try to sleep through the day, get up, hair, makeup, costume, and then you start shooting at like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and you finish at 5 or 6 a.m. And
Wow.
so that in and of itself is like a whole different animal. So and I know that
Working with USADA must have prepared you for this.
I don't know. But I know that the prison scene with Chris, that big giant oneer that they had, was the night shoot. They filmed that during nights. I was like, that's when like the whole riot shield is on flames and all that kind of stuff. That was all done in the night shoot. So yeah, it's been very eye-opening. I hope that I'm able to be able to do more film. It's something that I think I can kind of transition to, kind of similar to Rhonda and to Gina Carano. I feel like I have the skills to be able to transition. It's just getting those opportunities.
Yeah, and look at the progress of Gina. I don't think she spoke that much in Deadpool, and then you see her in The Mandalorian, and she's
Right.
phenomenal. She has many lines, and obviously, her physical presence is art as well. A lot of people knock Keanu Reeves, and it's like that is the man who got me into martial arts, The Matrix. Like
He's
I
so
remember,
cool.
yeah,
How do you not Keanu Reeves?
because they're like they make fun of his like his lines, but I'm like his body language speaks volumes, and I
He
just
does all his own stunts. He does all
yes.
his own driving. He does all his own weapons, like weapon stuff. Like that's so hard to do. Like so normally, anytime you have a filming scene, it's a stunt double that is doing all the filming stuff, like all the driving. Like it's very
Okay.
rarely the actual like main actor or actress, and that's like, so like it's kind of like one of the rules is like, if you see the back of their head, it's usually a stunt double
Gotcha.
in all the
Gotcha.
fight scenes, doing all like the crazy stunts and all that kind of stuff. It's usually a stunt double, and then the main actor or actress will like kind of, well, it's hard to explain, because like there's this fight scene, but they break it up into small little pieces when filming it. So like they'll get the stuff, like I threw Adam down the stairs in my fight scene. I didn't actually throw Adam. I threw his stunt double down the stairs. But then what we do is like Adam kind of will then step in for that final scene once he's been thrown down the stairs, and he'll kind of do like a small little roll to make it look like he's just been thrown down the stairs, and then go from there, type thing. Like it's really, it's amazing how the film world works, and how they navigate all that to make sure that everyone's safe.
I'm getting better at spotting it. I believe during the Super Bowl commercial, there was a spot with Jason Momoa, Aquaman, of course. He does a backflip, but you just see like the hair cover the face. I was like, I don't know if Aquaman's doing backflips anytime soon. And then a cut to him and he throws his hair back. I was like, okay, that was probably a stunt. Again, we're being joined by at Megan Anderson, ESPN analyst, UFC Fight Camp. Great work with Phil Murphy on ESPN. Fantastic stuff. Check out the YouTube show, The Megan Anderson Show. Speaking of the Super Bowl, talk about moving to the correct city. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness. The Chiefs Kingdom, Chiefs
I
Nation, Chiefs
know.
Dynasty. How did you know about American football before you got here, or was it just like uh talk to me about the experience of being in a winning city?
I for sure lucked out on that one. I didn't know much about it at all. Now I know a lot about it. But yeah, I definitely got lucky with well, and not just with the Chiefs too. I think before the Chiefs won their Super Bowl, Patrick, the first one, um, I think the year before the Royals, the Kansas City Royals, which is their baseball team, won the World Series too. I was
Ah.
like, I've never watched baseball before. I still haven't watched baseball. I compare it to cricket, and I found cricket really boring, and so I refused to watch it. Which is very un-Australian of me, but oh well. But yeah, I will say, living in the US for a long time now, it seriously amazes me how fanatical fans are about sporting teams here. Like they will passionately hate an entire other city just because it's a rival. I'm like, "You- what?" It makes no sense to me because, like, obviously we have sporting teams in Australia. We just, I guess, we just don't care as much about it. Like doing a Super Bowl parade. The parade is today, and I'm like, we don't do that in Australia. Like you win like the NRL grand final or the AFL grand final, and like you might have a celebration that day, but like it's not really a huge deal like it is here. So that it's kind of scary how
It is
fanatical fans are here.
definitely a religion. And
No, seriously. Oh, and
it
people have like the thing that blows my mind is like people will have like like their suspicions, like their lucky pants or their lucky hat, and like if the Chiefs aren't doing well, they'll go put on their lucky pants, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like that shit. Seriously, I was like, when I first started like watching and being around people like for the games, I was like, what is going on right now? Like, did he just go change his pants? Why?
but I'm sure
But
you
yeah,
adapted, right? Wings, beer, are you all into that?
I don't watch the games, like I keep track of the games, but I don't like to watch too
It's
much
very
because it
slow.
stresses me out. It's firstly, it's like a 3-hour game,
Yes.
but it stresses me out so much, partly because like Patrick likes to keep it close right until the end. I'm like, I
100%.
don't heart can't do this. Like this is too stressful. Like just stop. Just win easily, please.
Oh my gosh. Well, somebody is going to win easily this weekend, UFC 298. Again, we're being joined by at Megan Anderson. As mentioned earlier, UFC Fight Camp. You are a fight analyst, so let's get your thoughts on big fight this weekend.
Yeah.
If you can lay out a path to victory for the Georgian Ilya Topuria and Australia's Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, I don't see this fight being a stoppage. I see it going the distance, partly because they're both very well rounded, very tough to put away. Um, I'm kind of discounting that second Islam fight for Alex, partly because he took that fight on 11 days notice. He didn't have a training camp. He was literally coming off the couch, hadn't been training, cut a ridiculous amount of weight. So there was a lot of factors that kind of, I think, played into that stoppage. Because you look at the first fight, it was incredibly close and very competitive. So I kind of don't really count that in, but so I don't think either Ilya or Alex are very easy to put away. And so I don't see them doing that. So for Ilya though, I think he needs to make it a boxing fight. He does such a phenomenal job in turning fights into straight boxing fights because that is where his strength lies. His ability to see and make reads in the pocket on the inside is incredible. It's so beautiful to watch, and his small angle changes in his way he cuts up the cage, I think is going to be really important for him too. Because I see Alex coming out and having a lot of movement. And I think for Ilya, applying pressure with his footwork and his hands, like kind of like I said, he makes those small adjustments with his angles, and he does like to present a lot of forward pressure in the way that he fights. So I think if he can keep Alex on the back foot, although Alex can strike going in his direction, I think if we're going to the distance, being the one that's being the aggression, that's pushing the pace, that's backing his opponent up, I think is going to be crucial. And with his hands, use his speed on the inside, land those power shots, be a sniper with them. I mean, he is so accurate with his striking that he's going to have to be very particular with when he lands and how often he lands, because Alex does like to move and likes to switch stances a lot. So I think for Ilya, if he can find those openings, start throwing a little bit higher volume, and really try to put Alex on the back foot, which is not an easy task. But for Alex, for me, it's about the leg kicks. I think the leg kicks are going to be so important. Look at the Josh Emmett Ilya Topuria fight. He had a lot of success with the leg kicks, and Ilya doesn't really check the kicks. And with Alex too, is he doesn't just go to the leg, he'll go to the calf, which I think, so the thing that irritates me when people start off going the leg kicks, they don't continue it. They'll have success in the first round and then they don't see any visible changes and then they go away from it. I'm like, leg kicks or calf kicks, they pay dividends in the later rounds if you are consistent with it. So I see Alex staying with it. You might not see the results after the first round, might not see the results after the second round, but if he keeps beating the crap out of that leg, Ilya's potentially gonna have some issues in the third, fourth, and fifth round. Like his movement's gonna slow. His ability to put pressure on that leg for those power shots that we know that he likes to throw can be significantly compromised. I think for Alex too, range. He is such a rangy fighter, even though he's so short. And I think this is like the first time he's fighting somebody similar to his height in like years. I think Chad Mendes was like the last person who was like very similarly. He's been fighting these 5'10", 5'9" to 5'11" guys. I'm like, but he has this crazy long reach that he utilizes so well. So I think feint, establish the jab, make Ilya come to him on his turn, switch stances, present different looks, use his speed, like mix up the levels, don't just headhunt. I mean, Alex doesn't, but I mean, just leg, body, head, like mix up the looks. And I think the real key for Alex, I think, is going to be blending it all together, because no one has done everything with Ilya. They've either tried to strike with him or they've tried to wrestle with him. No one's tried to do both. So I think for Alex, if he can, even if he doesn't get Ilya down, wrestle to strike, strike to wrestle, is going to open up those opportunities, because Ilya has such a tight boxing guard. He doesn't get hit a lot. So I think by forcing him to think about other things than just striking, he's like, oh shit, like he's actually going to be looking to take me down. I'm going to have to worry about the takedown. Oh, he's taking me down. It's going to open up some striking. Like, I think blending it together like that is going to be so important for Alex to be able to open up that that guard of Ilya to start landing his significant shots. But yeah,
I agree with that. And if it's Fighter X fighter Y with Volkanovski's skill set, you would assume that he would wrestle, fill Ilya's arms up with blood, make him think a little, wear him
Right.
out. But it's like the ego is there, and it's like Volkanovski. I saw it on his own YouTube channel. He looks in phenomenal shape. He's got the Bruce Lee wings going. I'm like, oh, this man is motivated.
He always does though. And I am very surprised at how close this fight is, like on the odds and kind of like the line that people are so like on the line between Ilya and Alex for this fight.
Yeah.
And while I think Ilya is a phenomenal fighter and he is the real deal, is he ready for somebody like Alex right now? That's the question that I think is going to be answered, because while wins over Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett are good wins and he looked great, I just don't think they're at the same level as Alex Volkanovski. And he has never fought anyone of the caliber of Alex, the IQ, the experience. Like I think this is going to be a moment for Ilya of like, okay, let's rise to the occasion and we're able to match him,
Yeah, if he goes
or
five
it's
rounds with one of the greatest fighters of all time,
yeah.
that's a feather in his hat.
Even if he loses,
Right.
it doesn't take anything from him, because he at least he was competitive, he was in it, he was able to kind of have his, I'm sure he'll have his moments, but I don't understand where this narrative that Alex is all of a sudden old and he should retire. I'm like, 35 is not old,
I
people.
mean, you know what? He is old. He's taking naps. He's giving out his credit
Right,
card information. No,
right.
shout outs to Sportsbet, the
Dude,
amazing
that was
production.
great.
That was incredible. The getting the fence arguments, like I
Right.
feel like I'm gonna be doing that in 20 years
Well,
with
well,
neighbors.
well, not just that, but like did people forget that a couple months before the second Islam fight, he put on an absolutely one-sided beatdown on Yair Rodriguez?
Yeah, people forgot.
Right. And then a couple months before, what was it, like 6 February to July?
Yep.
So 5 months, whatever it was before that, a close decision against
Fight of the year.
Islam that could have gone either way. And he dropped Islam in
Yes.
that final round. Like, then all of a sudden, he takes a fight on short notice, on 11 days' notice, does the UFC favor, does Islam a favor by giving him an opponent. It doesn't go his way, and then all of a sudden he's washed. Make that make sense. That makes no sense. Like, and I feel like a big part of that is the confidence of Ilia Topuria, like the things that he's saying,
Yes.
the way that he's fighting. And I feel like this is the first fighter in a while that is the most well-rounded and even and potentially evenly matched to Volk that we've seen in a while.
I agree with that. Beautiful analysis work. I 100% agree with everything. Everybody thinks it's going to be a wash and a knockout in the first round. I think respect will be gained in the first 5 to 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
we're really going to see each fighter dig deep. Uh,
Yeah.
Beautifully said. You mentioned calf kicks.
Yeah.
UFC 299, the main event, the
Yes.
first time they fought,
Was
ended with the calf
yeah.
kick. Sean O'Malley, Marlon Cheeto Vera. Sean O'Malley has said that if Cheeto does it again, which would be just
Oh,
incredible,
he'll
like just
try.
hysterically, he's
Try.
like, if he hits me again and my leg spazzes out, I'll give him credit. But uh, in your opinion, does Sean O'Malley, outside of Connor, become the biggest star in the UFC if he gets past Marlon Cheeto Vera at UFC 299 next month?
Um, I don't know if he'll like becomes like the next big star. I feel like he already is a star. I don't know. I feel like there's just something about that bantamweight division. There's so many great fighters, but
True.
like, I don't know, like he has like a crazy amount of
It's a good
following,
question,
incredible
right?
good fighter. Yeah. I just don't I just don't see him being like on the stardom wise of somebody like Israel Adesanya or what Alex Pereira is
Ooh.
kind of becoming. I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like it's something about those lower weight classes don't get enough recognition or projection as opposed to like the higher weight classes, if that makes sense.
I'm with you. It's a lot of people, like maybe in the American audience might not be a fan of Alex Pereira, but I grew up watching Lyoto and Anderson, like these fighters who don't
I don't
speak
know why
English,
he's
like
so
Keanu
good,
Reeves. They do their talking with their actions and their body language, and that to
right?
me sells. Like I think Sean O'Malley's cool. He's cute. He's funny. Does his Twitch stream, but it's like these kids and the UFC trends the highest for the low demographic, the 18-year-olds. Like these
Yeah,
kids love Sean O'Malley, and it's
yeah.
like
It is a interesting demographic, and I feel like it kind of makes sense because I mean, how are you supposed to get new fans into the sport if you don't kind of like target that younger audience? So I think, yeah, I think somebody like Sean is a very integral part in growing a new fan base coming through. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just for me, I feel like those heavier weight classes there's just something about it that like it just makes stars. I don't know what it is like Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya. I mean,
Yuri.
look at the heavy, yeah, Yuri. Look at the heavyweight division. Tom Aspinall, John
Yes,
Jones. Like, I don't know why. It's just, but I feel like there's people gravitate more towards wanting to watch eh, those fights over the lighter weight classes, which is upsetting as somebody who is in the sport because man, those flyweights and those bantamweights can fucking bang. And sometimes they put on like more exciting fights. Look at the last uh Brandon Moreno and uh
was
what's
it
his name?
Pantoja?
Pantoja. Oh my god, that fight was crazy. Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. The millions of times that they fought, like some of the best fights. Like I just don't understand it. And maybe a part of it is because like they look like the everyday person
I agree.
because they're not like this big 6'5", 200 odd pounds, like fighter that the heavier, like, you know, the middleweights and above kind of look like. I think maybe it's because it's what the everyday person looks like and people don't respect them because they're like, "Oh, I'm the same height as you." Like, what do you I could do that. You know, like, you know how people are on the internet. But like when you look at somebody like Alex Pereira, 6'5", who's an absolute fucking animal, I'm like, that's a guy who's just like, oh, I don't want to mess with him. So
If
I feel
for me,
like
it
there's
changed when
like a
I
slight
saw
difference.
McGregor, like during a
Yeah.
media scrum for McGregor Floyd. I was like, wait, you're this towering figure. I was like, holy moly, it's amazing what the the I don't like the voice can just it makes
Yeah.
Connor, it makes Floyd seem like a 10-foot person. Like
Yeah. And I feel like we're in this era right now of MMA, like post kind of like McGregor era. Like I know he's still still fighting. Hopefully,
hopefully,
we'll
hopefully.
see how that goes. But it's like it's post his like crazy run to the double champ status, you know. And I feel like everyone is used to the talk and the crazy looks and the different fashion and all that kind of stuff. So they don't really care about that as much because we've seen it before with Connor. And maybe there is a bit of like a, well, look what he's done since. He hasn't really beaten anyone but a like a Donald Cerrone who didn't really want to be there in the past X amount of years. And he's has had some issues outside the cage and him not fighting. Like people want to see fighters fighting consistently. And because Connor is really that standard, that maybe that's the reason why they're so cautious of projecting somebody else to stardom that does similar things.
I agree. I agree. I'm just happy that I got to see you mentioned the double champ era like that. I got to see the rise of McGregor up into the Floyd. I think he became Money McGregor after the Floyd fight, but
Yes,
it's like
definitely.
when you see the like the Celtic hairdo where he looks like a
Yeah.
warrior, like that guy against Dustin Poirier, the first one, Dennis Seaver, Chevit, like that is like it was
Yeah.
awesome to see it unfold in real time. And again, we're being joined by at Megan Anderson. Thank you for the time. Um, Switching gears or fast forwarding to UFC 300, Kayla Harrison, Holly Holm. I saw on your YouTube channel again the Megan Anderson show on YouTube. Uh, Pay your editor more money. It's amazing clips, or unless you're doing it on your own.
Max Randall is my editor. I gotta
Oh,
give him a shout out. He is the best.
phenomenal stuff. I love the way it's pieced together, chopped up. It's beautiful stuff. But I saw you breaking down Kayla Harrison, and it's great
Yeah.
analyst work. And yeah, she looked small when she was at the 145 cut. She's going to 35. Are you freaking kidding me? And Holly Holm, I just saw the headline. I didn't watch the interview, but Holly Holm saying that she's not fighting Kayla if she misses weight. I believe that's from the Errol Hawani show. In your opinion, one, does she make the weight? I say yes. Two, can she be a UFC champion?
I think Kayla has the potential to go pretty far. I think the one thing with Kayla has always been her striking, and which is understandable. Ronda had some issues coming over from judo to MMA with her striking. I would say Kayla's like has done a better job at that, but when you look at a lot of her fights, she does have some issues closing the range, and the blueprint has been laid to beat a judoka that wants to close the range in Ronda Rousey. And Holly Holm was the perfect example on how to beat that, obviously. And Holly is a master at range. The thing is that with Kayla's going to have issues because Holly doesn't bait on anything. She is a very, I'm not going to say timid. She's not a timid fighter. For me, like I found like she has it kind of felt like she fights scared, but she's not really scared. She's just very adept at sticking to the game plan.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and that can be seen as being timid because she's not very like forward pressure. She's like, I want you to come to me because you have to close the range on me because I'm happy because she's happy fighting at that distance. She has her kicks, she has her, oblique kicks. And when you Kayla, it's very obvious, like her strength lies on the ground. She needs to get it to the ground for her to have the most success. So it's going to be on Kayla to close that range. Can she in a bigger octagon against somebody who has a tremendous amount of movement, who likes to keep the range, has so many tips and tricks, and physically, Holly to this day is the strongest person I have ever fought. I remember locking up with her on
Wow.
the cage, and I was like, God damn. I was like, this lady is strong. Why is she not moving? Like she, to this day, physically a fucking athlete. She is like tremendous amount of respect for her. And like you go and watch like a lot of her training videos, and oh, she's a beast. Like like deservedly so. Like she is such a hard worker. And I think for Kayla, the big question is, do I think she can make the weight? She probably can, but can and should, two different things. So if she makes the weight, my thing about Kayla is not just making the weight once, is making the weight consistently and being able to perform, because she has been very open about not liking cutting weight because it takes away from her strengths. She's not able to use her size. She's not able to use that you know strength. Like she likes to use her strength against her opponents. She's not going to have that cutting to a weight class she never has. And not just that, but like rehydrating. She's not going to rehydrate up back to where she's starting camp. It doesn't work like that. Is she able to still have that strength? That's the question. And a lot of it goes, I know for me, whenever I cut to 45, like I would still be strong, but me at 170 and then me stepping in the cage at like 155 to 160, it's very different because that weight cut takes so much out of you. And
Does she,
so, what was that?
I was gonna say, does she have to just like drop the weights now and just do like body calisthenic stuff, push-ups, body squats, like not even touch like
Well, I think for
weights?
her, a lot is going to be she's going to have to get rid of a lot of muscle. I think she's going to have a complete body recomposition to be able to make this weight. And so she'll be a little smaller, which if she starts walking smaller, it could play into her favor because then it's not as big a weight cut. But she also has to remember when you cut down to a weight that you've never cut before, that you are having to deplete so much, you also open yourself up to not being able to completely rehydrate properly by fight time, which then leads to more potential brain injuries like getting rocked by punches, kicks that you might not necessarily would have been if you didn't have to cut that much weight. So I think, can Kayla make the weight? She probably can. But can she make it consistently and still perform? That is what I'm more interested in coming in and out of this fight.
Wow, I agree with that. I'm pumped. Pumped for you at Megan Anderson, Instagram and X.com. You are Swiss Army knife
I try.
fighter, actress, analyst, amazing stuff on your YouTube channel. My final real question.
Okay.
You've shared cage time with the GOAT, Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
You've
I have.
stepped away from fighting like Amanda Nunes. You are
Yeah.
flourishing. It seems like your plates are full. You have a lot going
Yeah.
on. Thanks again for giving me some of your time. Time is more valuable than money, and so I appreciate your time. Amanda Nunes, she has teased coming back. Is she bored at home with the kids with Nina? What's going on? Is she not like getting
I don't
her
know.
her third stripe on her black belt? Why would Amanda Nunes come back to the UFC?
Um, I don't know. I will say, after watching that title fight in Toronto, if that is the caliber of women's bantamweight title fights that we're going to be get post Amanda Nunes, like I don't want it. Like please come back. Like I was very disappointed on both sides. Don't get me wrong. Love both of them. Raquel Pennington, have a tremendous amount of respect for her. Didn't push the pace. Like I want to see a champion trying to finish fights. I want to see a champion pushing the pace. Like if you think that you've got the gas tank, you've got the striking, you've got the power, fucking use it. Like I want to see that, intensity to win. And I didn't see that. And Myra, she
That was not
she,
good
she
optics.
I was so
Were you screaming at the TV?
it's like, what the fuck am I watching right now? But I was very disappointed in her, partly because like I had a lot of like faith in her. I was like, man, like she went through X, Y, and Z. She put Holly Holm away. Man, like this is a new name. Like, because I feel like the title fight can talk has always been like the same 3 or 4 names. I'm like, this is somebody new. Like, she's got the skills. Like, let's see. And oh my god, like the way that she was talking pre that fight, and you come out and you fight like that. That's I I would be embarrassed if I was her, because you can't talk like I'm going to finish this on the next big thing, and then you gas in the second round and you don't have anything. Like you can't get the fight to the ground, you can't do anything with the striking, and you just try to hold on to your opponent for 25 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Like what was the game plan? Because it should have gone out of the window when it stopped working in the first round.
I
I don't know. But
I saw Raquel coming on in the later rounds because of her experience, but I did not think it would be laying on the beach for Buena Silva in
when
those
like
later
even
rounds.
Raquel, like I was yelling at her to like stand the fuck up
Yeah,
because you
she
were
was having
beating
success.
her standing and you let her take it to the ground, or you willingly went with her to the ground. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's the fan in me, because I'm like, when I see a title fight, I'm like, I want to see you like doing everything in your fucking power to finish a fight. Like I want to see like you trying to take their head off with everything. Like obviously within reason, like it's a 25-minute fight, but like in that fight, Raquel should have been like, she should have been putting the gas on the pedal from that second round. And like, even if it did go to the ground, Raquel's good on the ground. It's not like she's no slouch. Like,
Nope.
you have nothing to worry about. So like that, I want to see that killer instinct. And that's why Juliana Pena, she's got that killer instinct. She's a dog. I mean, she might have a interesting way in the way that she hypes fights that can rub people the wrong way, but when she steps in that cage, she fucking turns up to fight, and you have to respect the hell out of that. And I think like if the Raquel Pennington that fought a couple weeks ago and won the fight fights Juliana Pena, I think she loses the title. And that's the thing, is I feel like the women's bantamweight division right now, I see the belt hot potatoing around. I don't see there being a long-standing champion like we do with Amanda, unless Amanda comes back.
Is that is now you got me thinking. It's 1-1 with Pena and Nunes. I was thinking, does Nunes want to
I
like?
will say I think if I wouldn't be surprised if Juliana does beat Pennington, Amanda comes back. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. But I also don't think the Amanda that fought Juliana in that first fight was like her best. I seen it like the Amanda that I fought and the Amanda that fought on that fight, two very different people. And then we seen more of the Amanda that we all know in that second fight. So I think she was having an off night. And I mean, it was the first time she cut to bantamweight in like 2-3 years. And then, you know, she's always cut a big amount of weight to bantamweight. And but when you've only having to be making one at 145 for 2 or 3 years, like life gets nice. It gets comfortable. Like trying to cut that extra weight sucks. So I definitely, yes, it is 1-on-1, and I would, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Juliana beats Raquel, that Amanda comes back. She's like, I don't want you to have this belt.
A lot of big fights on the table.
Right.
2024, another great year for UFC fight fans. It's incredible. The sport keeps growing. Everybody thought it lived and died with Conor. Nope, he was a fun era. But the sport keeps churning. I appreciate your insight and everything. Real quick, a very fun segment called Quick Fire. You can give
Okay.
one answer, excuse
Oh
me,
God.
one word answer or sentence answer.
Okay.
Um, you ready to play?
Okay, yes.
Favorite cheat meal?
Um it's so hard because I don't ever really have a cheat meal.
Wow.
Um
Disciplined, disciplined.
I would say let's just say like a tomahawk steak from like a nice fancy steak place.
Okay. That's very solid, not very cheaty.
No,
Uh,
no, but it tastes
favorite
good.
female fighter of all time?
Oh God. Um don't know. I don't really have one.
Favorite male fighter?
I will have to say Alexander Gustafsson.
Ooh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Dream fight matchup.
I would love to see like I would love to see somebody like Chuck Liddell versus one of the new guys. Like but like Chuck Liddell in his prime versus like a um Alex Ferreira or somebody like or
Ooh, oh my gosh,
I
Stone Cold.
know.
That fight is not making it out of the first round.
No, no. But like, I don't know. There's just something about that generation that I'm like, man, everyone was a star back then.
See, and you nailed it. It's like Chuck Liddell wasn't like didn't have the gift of gab, but it was just that look that like it
Right?
his look spoke a
And
million
he and
words.
he had that fucking that power that could put you to sleep.
100%. That and it's a great comparison too. Alex, they're like the Spider-Man gif, like they point to each other. Very similar in that
Literally,
respect.
yes. I love that. I love that meme.
Favorite hobby outside of punching people in the face?
Video games.
Yes, I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and Madden football. What about you?
Nice. Assassin's Creed is my favorite game of all
Mirage
time.
or a different?
I have been playing Mirage lately, but I've loved them all. I used to get the collector's edition, so it would come with like a figurine. The Mirage, I
Ah.
actually got the collector's edition, so I have a figurine laying around somewhere. But that and I play a lot of Call of Duty, and I loved God of War. I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, but I love God of War. Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
nerdy that I got the Ragnarok PS5 bundle, and I've never played God of War, so I want to play it in order. I just ordered the PS2 versions, and I want to like play 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 in order. So yeah, don't get me started. My wife's like, when did this happen? This video game addiction. I go, you never knew
Don't even
this.
worry about it.
Don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it,
about
babe.
sweetheart.
Oh my God. Biggest inspiration in your life?
Um, I would say biggest inspiration would be like myself, like the fact that like I've gone through so much in my life and I find a way to go through it, deal with it, handle it, and come out a better person.
Keep shining, keep doing you. It's working out amazing. So
I
uh
try.
can't can't wait to hear your Oscar speech in a couple years. Uh locked in a room for 24 hours, you can
Oh
only watch
God.
one fight.
Um, I would probably say Alexander Gustafsson and John Jones won.
Great call. Great call.
It's one of my favorite fights of all time.
And I assume that I know who's gonna be now on your Mount Rushmore, but who is on your Mount Rushmore of MMA?
I'm gonna say Ronda Rousey.
Nice.
How many people are around Mount Rushmore? Five?
4.
Four. Okay, I
You're
don't
the
know.
only person that asked that. And afterwards I'm like, they are assuming that I was like, they're very confident they know how many people
Right. I would say Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor would have to be definitely two.
Respect. I like it.
Um, Randy Couture
Nice.
and probably John Jones.
Incredible. Incredible. Superstars among superstars, Randy Couture, probably the
Right.
most humble among them. But
He really is. I got to work with him in PFL and oh my
nice.
God, like he is such an incredible human and I loved being able to to get his insight on a lot of things and yeah, he's great human being.
Like yourself, a great human being,
Thank
great
you.
analyst, great fighter, great actress. I swear you definitely broke, was it Adam? You probably broke Adam's ribs in that stairwell scene in Extraction 2. Oh my gosh, fantastic. Very excited for you. I appreciate the time, Megan. I will continue to follow your coverage for UFC 298 and beyond, UFC Fight Camp with Phil Murphy, the Megan Anderson Show on YouTube. Incredible. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.